Christopher, the tagline of our lecture was a compassion-based approach, and the framing mechanism was that there's something about joy and compassion that is the appropriate frame to engage or to hold in mind in these difficult conversations about race. Why did you think that that's the approach that's necessary if we're going to make progress in these conversations?
Yeah, we think that joy, while it has an affective component, right, where it's embedded in our concrete realities, the reason compassion is appropriate and needed is we recognize that everybody's going to experience joy all the time, right? That joy is the ways in which when we feel that kind of positivity and a kind of hopefulness, but because of the different kinds of the world that we live in, the kind of marginalizations people experience, that there are times in your life where you will feel suffering, where you'll feel hurt and you'll feel woundedness. And in those times, we think the appropriate response is compassion, right? And so compassion is what allows us to tend to those woundedness, that wounded areas, to actually to tend to that woundedness so we can experience joy. Right? To actually speak to those particular parts of us, those things that are hurt within us, to hold them, to love them, to see where that woundedness is so that they might be able to heal, right? And move towards joy. Not so much saying that these wounds, that we can like learn from them or grow from them, because those wounds are deep and there isn't necessarily joy in those wounds, but by being in a compassionate space where we can tend to them, we can meet them where they are, and we can learn to put ourselves back together again by actually displaying some resilience. We think in this sense, compassion is that kind of complementary piece to joy, where they work in harmony, in a kind of dynamism, I think, that allows people to embody joy even when they perhaps experience some suffering. They can turn to compassion to get back to this joyful place.